The said pandemic has caused significant interruption in the education system worldwide. As in other areas of life, the pandemic highlighted the importance of flexible learning, which the students and educators needed to adjust to their new learning environments and strategies to properly execute these learning methods that they will be obligated to adapt during this health crisis. It can provide valuable insights into the usefulness of flexible learning strategies during the pandemic that is currently experiencing. It may also enhance the understanding of different factors that may influence the success of flexible learning. The purpose of this study is to determine the satisfaction of the office administration students in flexible learning employed by Pambayanang Dalubhasaan ng Marilao at the tail end of the pandemic, assessing the attributes that have the potential to become their strength. This study is directed towards students and will serve as a guide and valuable reference for students who are undertaking educational courses, administration and staff, teaching procedure, and different ways to help students.
Expectation Disconfirmation Theory, EDT, constructed by Richard L. Oliver in the 1980s. The theory proposes that citizen satisfaction arises from a process in which citizens compare their perception of the performance of public service against the prior expectations. The EDT originated in the marketing literature, Oliver 2010. The expectation disconfirmation theory is commonly used in consumer research to explain the relationship between expectations, satisfaction, and perceived performance. The theory posits that customers from expectations about a product or service before using it, and their satisfaction with the said title, satisfaction among the office administration students in flexible learning as instructional delivery mode of Pambayang Dalubhasaan ng Marilao at the tail end of pandemic, is determined by the difference between their expectations and the actual experience. If the result meets or exceeds their expectations, they are likely to be satisfied, whereas if it falls short of their expectations, they are likely to be very dissatisfied. The theory can also be used to understand how consumer expectations evolve over time and how they compare to the actual experiences of the product or service.
In the study, the researcher used four statistical treatments, namely the Pearson R, the t-test for significance of correlation coefficient, the ANOVA, and the t-test for two sample means. The following statistical tools were used to ascertain the satisfactions of office administration student in the flexible learning employed by the PDM at the tail end of the pandemic. First, the Pearson R. Significantly, it is to determine the strength of the linear relationship between two variables using the formula above. With that, after the computations of R, the researcher will use this table, which includes the tables and its descriptions, to determine the strength of the relationship. The second one is the t-test for significance of correlation coefficient. It is to examine whether there is a significant difference between the two sample mean. Further, it is to determine if the computed test value is significant to the study. With that is an indication if the researcher will reject the null hypothesis or not, with the formula above. Through this, the researcher will know the significance of correlations of the study.
T-test into sample mean is appropriate for the research based on the data because there are less than 30 respondents from first to fourth year levels. ANOVA is used to determine whether they are significantly different from multiple sample means. Students from first year to fourth year level in terms of satisfaction of flexible learning education after pandemic. There are 6 sample means or group. First group, first year and second year. Second group, first year and third year. Third group, first year and fourth year. Fourth group, second year and third year. Fifth group, second year and fourth year. And last, third year and fourth year.
In accordance with the result of expectation rate, the average weighted means of first year is 3.59, second year is 3.52, third year is 3.43, while fourth year is 3.38, and the overall weighted means is 3.48. In accordance with the result of perception rate, the average weighted means of first year is 3.40, second year is 3.31, third year is 3.03, while fourth year is 3.14, and the overall weighted means is 3.22.
In accordance with the result of satisfaction rate, the average weighted means of first year is 3.41, second year is 3.40, third year is 3.29, while fourth year is 3.32, and the overall weighted means is 3.36. The average weighted means of first year is negative 1.32, second year is negative 1.44, third year is negative 2.79, while fourth year is negative 1.69.
Hypothesis testing for the significance of correlation between office administration student perception and satisfaction in flexible learning. In first year, the critical value is positive negative 2.74 and the table value is 5401, so the HOR null hypothesis is fall under rejection region. The result, there is a significant relationship between perception and satisfaction of first year office administration student in the flexible learning employed by the PDM at the end of the pandemic. Next is second year. The critical value is positive negative 2.080 and the table value is 10.324, so the HOR null hypothesis is fall under rejection region. The result, there is a significant relationship between the perception and satisfaction of second year office administration student in the flexible learning employed by the PDM at the tail end of the pandemic. Next is third year. The critical value is positive negative 2.120 and the table value is 1.988, so the HOR null hypothesis is fall under non-rejection region. The result, there is no significant relationship between the perception and satisfaction of third year office administration student and flexible learning employed by BTM at the end of the pandemic. Lastly is fourth year. The critical value is positive negative 2.228 and the table value is 3.262, so the HOR null hypothesis is fall under rejection region. The result, there is a significant relationship between perception and satisfaction of fourth year office administration student in the flexible learning employed by BTM at tail end of the pandemic. Since the computed data for ANOVA exceeds the test value and it falls under the rejection region, we conclude that there is insufficient evidence to substantiate the claim. To summarize, we have a table that shows all the results from the gathered data of office administration student from first year to fourth year on how effective flexible learning during the midst of pandemic employed by the Pambayang Dalubhasaan ng Marilao. In accordance to the result of the expectation, which has the test value of 1.23 that do not exceed the critical value, which is positive negative 2.76. Further, in the perception on the performance, the test value is 1.27 that do not exceed the critical value, which is positive negative 2.76, while in the satisfaction, which has the test value of 0.33, do not exceed the critical value, which is positive negative 2.76.
Based on the results on the gathered data, the researchers conclude that the students are satisfied in flexible learning as instructional delivery mode of Pambayang Dalubhasaan ng Marilao at the tail end of the pandemic. It states that the null hypothesis of the gathered data was true because there is significant evidence to support the claim. Also, based on the hypothesis testing being used, the correlation and its significance, analysis of variance, and t-test for two sample mean, it shows that the result of the study is satisfied.